when you've got the professionalism, the etiquette, and just the overall experience of how to run a business successfully, we've got an expert here just to talk about that. Happens to be in HVAC. Lots to learn there too. That affects everybody. Boy, it's a hot one here where we're at. What's the temperature where you're at? Hot or cold? You need some expertise. Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome back, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show. And as I was looking at the schedule today, we had a number of interviews scheduled, and I looked down, I'm like, we've got some HVAC experts, the heating and cooling, because it was literally boiling out. I'm like, it was outside where you just walked out, you're going, wave here. Right, where are we located? Well, you might think we're in Florida or Arizona. No, we're in St. Louis, and we're fortunate to have our guest here. Who you mostly out of Alabama? Is that where you're?
Yep, that's where I live, and that's where I've been, the last 30 years.
Okay, and with that, but you run the St. Louis location, and so
correct.
We need some help up here because things gotten pretty busy up here. But with that, give a introduction to Chad Setchell. He's the owner founder of Call the AirBear. AirBear HVAC has put it together, and I told him, I said, in between, we usually do 2 full half-hour interviews, and I said, you just have that professional acumen. It just makes it. He goes, oh, this is learned, right?
Yeah.
But with the expertise you bring to it, you knew you could do this even a third time, and you enjoyed. Retirement was fun for a little bit.
It was, but it was a little rough. But yeah, I had to get back to doing something.
And we talked about that. Feel like you need to contribute. Depending what you got to make a living, got to pay the bills. If you've got that satisfied, go out there and donate some time to a charity or organization. You meet a lot of people. Wherever you're at in your career, starting off, it's a great way to meet people. All kinds of fun stuff you do. I'll never forget, I went to, this happens all the time, but I went to a charity event, ended up meeting one of the most prolific people in the entire Midwest. And now we're good friends, but I was volunteering. So
sure,
give a little time up to help the community, and you might meet some people that, and there's all kinds of fun work to come out of that. But running a business, man, my mom loves the fact that we're doing the show because she says you're really helping small businesses compete with the big guys.
Absolutely.
It's not real easy to get on TV. It's not real easy to produce a half-an-hour TV show. But because I did go to those computer classes, my mom and dad made me go to. As much as I didn't like that back when I wanted to play baseball all the time. So, but it turned out because now we systematize things here. Paul, my buddy, who used to work for ABC, said you're doing the job about 14 people. But if you're a computer nerd, all the cameras, lights, all that stuff, you see that camera up there that scrolls. Somebody lost their job because we have a computer now that will do this movement for us. There used to be a guy at our old studio that did that. Sorry, but hey, we got to be competitive. But here we are. So I get to learn from the experts in our community. And so with that, let's dig in here. My second set of questions is where I get started with one of my favorites. And that is, what's the biggest mistake the average homeowner makes when they're dealing with? Now, it could be a repair, it could be a new unit. Talk to me about each one of those and the biggest mistake.
I think the biggest mistake a homeowner makes is not getting a second opinion. One thing that a lot of people need to remember is that private equity corporations have moved into our space.
Right.
So if you're a home services company, and home services companies, that's electricians, plumbers, insect control, HVAC, roofers, it's very lucrative money in that. So what happened about 10 years ago is corporations said, ooh, they're making a lot of money, we want a part of that. So now when you call the company you've been using for 20 years, you used to know the owner, you knew his son, you knew everybody there. It's owned by a corporation now because he sold out. So now when they come to your home, it's not about, here, let me get you fixed up, let's get you running again. These are your options. It's about you need something new. And usually that new thing needs to be over $1,000. My philosophy is if someone's telling you you need something over $1,000, get a second opinion. Plain and simple, get a second opinion.
Yeah, well, whether that be a repair or
a replacement, anything. And as soon as, like, let's say your air conditioner cooled yesterday, and it cooled great, but you woke up this morning, I ain't got no AC. You call somebody up, they get to your house, they say, hey, Miss Jones, you need a whole brand new system at the tune of $18,000. Now, yesterday it cooled fine, but today you need $18,000 to put a new air conditioner in. It's time for a second opinion. Yes. Get somebody else out there to look at it. And here's the nice thing about it is there's a lot of companies out there that do the second opinion for free. If you call them up and say, hey, listen, I had somebody out here, don't even have to mention names. They told me I need something on my air conditioning system. I wouldn't even tell the second company what it is the first company said.
Right.
Let's see what the second company says.
Yep.
But be investigative. Be proactive about being ready to get a second opinion. Get somebody else out there to look at it, and it can save you thousands of dollars.
Yeah, how many times this is the case? They're saying, hey, man, let's just throw out a number. And if they bite, then we walked into an easy one. You can make a lot of profit.
When you call an air conditioning company, especially a bigger air conditioning company, as soon as you hang up the phone after you scheduled that appointment, they are going through a process of trying to figure out what they can sell you. They're looking at your house. They're looking at the value of the house. They're looking at how long you've owned that house, and they're looking at how much you paid for that house.
Wow.
They're doing a Google map, a street view. They're looking in your driveway to see what kind of cars you got. Wow. Now, this is all before an air conditioning technician comes to your home. Because in their minds, they're thinking, okay, that's a nice house. They got new cars. That means they got credit. We're sending our best technician out there.
Wow,
and he's the guy with no tools in his vans and no parts.
Yeah, he's not coming there
because he's a salesman.
Interesting. Okay. And
so I mean,
how much you bought the house for, how much equity you might have there.
They look at everything. They try to find out all about you. They will try to find out about who's living in that home. And there's companies out there that actually sell that information to contractors.
Holy cow, everybody. Write this whole segment down.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be, this day and age, in the last 5 years, you got to be extremely, extremely cautious of who you let in your house and how you handle what they tell you.
And that is why we like to emphasize working with small business owners.
Absolutely.
Because then you get to deal with somebody personally if
Absolutely.
they want to talk to the owner.
Like me, I'm not going to try to sell you something you don't need. I'm not trying to rip you off because I'm still in the business. I don't want you, I mean, I want to be fair. I want to be to both of us. I want a win-win situation. I don't want to win. I just don't want to win and you lose. I want everybody to win.
Yeah, win-win-win is what you look. Stephen Covey's book, he talks about that. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yes.
And
amazing book.
It better be fair to everybody, because if it's not, then somebody ultimately it's gonna come back on that person.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? You're taking advantage of somebody, and we hear those stories all the time. Not a good strategy if you're trying to be successful on this little planet. Great little segue there. That's a 7-minute segment, everybody, but we might pump that one out there again because that was some good information there.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that with us. Residential, commercial. What do you like about each? What do you do most of?
I like residential because you're dealing with good customers. You meet a lot of people. Every day is a different day. Commercial, I like commercial because you're not dealing with the customer, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, residential is what I like to do. Commercial is great, but sometimes there's a line there where there's two different technicians. A residential technician can go look at a big commercial unit and might be able to do something, but they're so high tech nowadays. It's two separate technicians.
Yeah, the units you put on a Anheuser-Busch or a Boeing are going to be totally different than what you have. And you see these things that are stacked on top of the roofs they have.
Yes. And a lot of the manufacturers are coming out with proprietary systems in their stuff. So if it's let's say it's a York unit, you got to have York software to even find out what's wrong with it.
Okay. Yeah, and that proprietary. I used to sell computers back in the day, and they say,
sure.
that part was designed specifically for that unit,
proprietary,
and you couldn't get an external generic part to fit in there, and it won't work. You had to go with it, and then they mark that up, and they make it. And then we talk about repairs and warranties; those are always important things to consider.
Well, repairs and warranties too. And now here's another thing too: is like I just told you about this private equity has moved into our space. Well, the manufacturers have decided, you know what, we're gonna get away from the small air conditioning contractors, and we're gonna work with these big private equity ones. So let's say you had an air conditioner that you bought 11 years ago in your home, and let's say you paid $15,000. You bought a top-of-the-line air conditioner. You bought the best thing out there, and then it breaks down after 11 years. But it ran great, never had any problems. But the day it broke down, technician comes to you, hey ma'am, you got a bad control board on the outside unit. The cost of that control board is $8,500 because your unit's out of warranty. Manufacturer ain't making that board no more, and if you really want it, they want $8,500 for it.
Wow.
Yeah, and that happens every single day. The manufacturers aren't your friend anymore either, because you bought a system 5 years ago with a different type of Freon, and if it breaks today, their story is, oh, well, the parts aren't available. So everybody's pushing pressure on you to change that air conditioning to a new one.
Buy the new unit, right? That's going to serve you the best. I don't know.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
a lot of profit in that strategy. Not necessarily what you need, but you can, as a smaller business, as a smaller HVAC specialty team, you can go find parts. You can
Absolutely.
pay more
We're going to
attention.
do everything we can to get that customer up and running. Everybody's financial situation is completely different. And I mean, people got kids, and the price of everything nowadays is so high. I mean, people can't afford $15,000 air conditioners.
Right? Yeah. They start talking about financing and,
Well, yeah,
and
I
all
mean,
those things.
yeah,
That's the only
and
way
that's
you can
another
do it.
thing too. I mean, financing. These finance companies will finance you a $20,000 air conditioner and not even think twice about it.
And then they get you with 0% until you miss one payment.
And it's over with.
Then it's over with.
Yeah, and it's over with.
Then 18% or 25%.
Yes,
Or
yes.
So make sure you pay those things on time. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. You better pay attention to what's going on and have the connections with the right people. Work with small business owners, everybody. AirBear Heating and Cooling. Fast, friendly, affordable. Call the airbear.com. And we've got your assistant. Who's coming?
His name's Jake.
Jake.
Yep.
Jake's coming in from the St. Louis office, and we're
Yep.
going to talk a little about from the
St.
angle
Louis
here.
market, absolutely.
And, it's thank you for coming in to spend the time with us for this, because to get the head honchos coming from out of town to sit down with us,
We appreciate it greatly.
and get to enjoy learning from somebody who runs it from the top and can speak to, hey, but we still have that hands-on, friendly approach to.
Yeah. With a St. Louis icon.
That's right. Who's that?
You.
Oh, I got to put the hat on for that, I guess, maybe. All right. But we have a lot of fun, and I've worked hard to maintain a little bit of my mom. I just knew that my mom was always going to be like this on me no matter what. She said, you sure put yourself out there. You can't do
Yeah.
anything wrong. I'm like, well, what difference would it have made? My mom,
Exactly.
Judy Rethwish, you don't mess with Mrs. R, everybody. So she kept me on the path. Did I wander off the path a couple times? Definitely, but she kept me sure. So you're going to be part of this family. You're going to do things right. You're going to take care of people. And if you think about it, that comes back to you as a business owner, as a human on this planet.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to worry then. Take care of
Yep.
other people, and people will be looking out for you. So it's a lot of fun. And we're not finished up here. We got another half hour to talk about this. What do you like about running an air conditioning company? That's you have multiple cities that you can run in, from Dallas,
Right.
Alabama, to where are you at in Florida?
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle
We're in
Beach.
Destin area,
Okay.
Navarre, Destin area, Pensacola,
Right.
Mobile, Alabama, Dallas, St. Louis, of course, and then Myrtle Beach, Florida, or Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Okay. And it just seems that it's a coincidence. A couple things I would say there, just to be honest. Great locations to go visit.
Oh, absolutely.
But where it's also very warm.
Extremely hot.
And so there's plenty of these
Extremely
ACs
hot.
get run pretty hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know those other 4 locations, they really don't have much of a heating season. Dallas really does. Myrtle Beach does sometimes, but St. Louis has a huge heating season.
Okay.
So you're hitting all seasons here. We're down south. We don't have a heating season.
It's warm, but it's not as hot. Is that right?
Exactly.
St. Louis gets you this extreme hot, and they can
Yeah.
say, if you don't like the weather in St. Louis, wait a little bit. It'll change. It'll change.
Yeah.
And but you get everything from extreme cold. We do not. I do think maybe it's a global warming thing. I don't know. I don't get into that discussion, but
Right.
I don't know if I buy into that much. But we get cool winters. We get about 6 or 8 inches worth of snow.
Absolutely.
But not one of these negative 45 degrees. We
Exactly.
did it once.
Right.
And it froze our pipes at one of our apartments. It was a mess. But that only happens once in a while. Otherwise,
Right.
it's pretty cold.
Yeah.
But in the summer, it's really hot.
Boiling.
Whereas what you're saying in Florida, the coolest it gets is maybe 50s, 40s.
Yeah, you know, in Florida, if it gets down below 20, it's like a state national emergency.
Right,
I mean, it's
yeah.
bad. And in Alabama, once it snowed maybe 2 inches,
Okay.
and it shut that city down for 4 days.
Wow. Okay.
4 days, it was shut down.
Breaking out the plows and doing
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, they didn't have no plows.
Okay,
4
they didn't
days, no salt, no plows.
Gotcha. Well, tell me a time when you had a particular instance where you had to really help somebody that was out on a limb, and you knew that they were kind of stuck. Maybe they had a previous contractor didn't finish
We
the
run
job.
into people all the time that have just been taken advantage of constantly by air conditioning contractors.
Really?
And we do everything we can just to try to help them get back something. You know, I mean, we might take a little bit of loss, but we're just going to try to get somebody going again.
There you have it, everybody. And it's worth it to do that because the word spreads. You get
Absolutely.
Lots of good people will talk nicely about you when you're not there and say, hey, they really took care of it. And that spreads through our social media and
Absolutely.
and all those wonderful places too. What was a big challenge? I guess you could talk about. You mentioned this in the first show. If you missed that first show, man, we're so lucky to have an expert. Chad really knows this stuff, and it's just throwing it out there the way it is, man. It's great that somebody's a straight shooter. Tell us what you got to do to run a business these days. But a hurdle you've had to overcome in your career where you were like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that? Was it the first business you started? What would you say? Was
Well, the first business was just, I mean, I had no form of business acumen at all. So
Right.
I didn't have any idea about overhead, labor rate. I know none of it. For the second one, I really didn't have that much more experience. But I figured my philosophy has always been I can outwork anybody. So if I outwork, what I finally had to do is I had to get inside of business books and start reading about business stuff. So that was the biggest thing that I had to overcome.
And you really made an educated attempt at this to go inform yourself and study it.
Absolutely, had to.
Yeah.
I was going to be, like I said, that second business I had, for the first 12 years, I suffered. I mean, I struggled. 1 year I do great, next year I did terrible. 1 year I do great, 2 years I do terrible. Until I finally started putting all the business information together and seeing how I'm supposed to be operating, see how I'm supposed to be pricing, see how much staff I'm supposed to have.
Right.
Trying to get my overhead under control. So yeah, I mean, that made a huge difference.
Yes, the overhead, so many people don't understand. It comes in, you think you're making money, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute.
There's no money, exactly.
We got to pay for that. Great information, great insight, and a lot of information shared. We'll be back here in a little bit. Everybody stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break, share some of our community excitement. We'll be back. Giddy up.
All right, everybody, just got our bobbleheads. We're outside of Bush gate number 4. There it is, gate 5 up there. Right next to this exit, we got our hand stamp. There it is, hand stamp. And, but yeah, you can see there, Cardinal Cowboy performed. We got my buddy Brooke and his son King with us. There they are. Gate 4, and so you can see all of the ballpark village amenities. You go in up there, but we're going back around over here to go back to our car. We're going to show you the statues. These statues are pretty amazing. A lot of ballparks have them, but very few have the kind of superstars that the Cardinals have had over the years. So we're going to walk through these briefly. There he is. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thank you. We'll check him out. There he is, Rogers Hornsby, George Sissel, Cool Papa Bell, Bob Gibson, Lou Brock, Stan the Man Usual. There's another one for him. Red Shane Deans, there he is. Ozzie Smith, right there. Enos Slaughter. Dizzy Dean. And the most recent, Ted Simmons. All right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed our little walk.
His name is Carter Rathwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rathwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goal, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up.
So we're hearing all the time now why people need to be on our show, and it's pretty obvious. These days, the stats are proven. If you're going to get people's attention, you've got to get them with video. Google loves video. YouTube, obviously, is where you put your videos, and it's just a no-brainer. The problem is, until we kind of put together this whole format, there's no other way to get this kind of quality for the cost we put together. Because I'm a computer nerd, because I figured out how to automate, systematize, we've systematized this. Mom and Dad made me go to computer classes just in case the professional baseball career didn't work out. And so we started off doing 1 show, then 2 shows, then 3 shows, and then we had to jump to 5 shows a week just to fill the demand, because here you get a professional video that looks dynamite, that'll let your business really showcase what they do, and you don't have to spend $10, $15, $20, $30,000 to do it. So if you'd like to be on the show, get a hold of us and understand these stats. When you're on a show like this, when you put this on your website, you're going to decrease your bounce rate by 34%. You're going to increase your close rate, your conversion rate, by up to 80%. We have clients tell us they get 25% more closed deals because of the show. They track this. They can speak to that. And you're going to just get an overall boom for your business. You've got to do video. If you don't do it through us, do it somewhere. Do it yourself. But do it professionally. Don't make your business look worse. Make your business look better. This video can be used for up to 7 years. We have clients, we did an interview with them 2020. It's 2026. They have made over $360,000 by using our video. They came back to do it again. So get a hold of us. Jump on here. Go to bigleagues.com. That's BIGG leagues.com. Or call us or text us right there, the phone number you see there. And we look forward to having you on our show. Stay tuned. Giddy up. So here it is, everybody. The book called Magnetize Media. If there's anything you need to do as a business these days, it is to magnetize your media. Yours truly wrote the foreword, the introduction here. This is a #1 seller on Amazon. Pick that up. But Steve Kidd and Willie J, you've seen both of them on my show. Willie and I go way back, and he was one of my first guests. I'll mention that a little bit. A long time ago. And I said, how did you, we're always trying to get good testimonials. He's like, you know what I did with that video? It helped me sell 1 million albums. I'm like, how was that?
That's
He goes,
awesome.
Once they saw that I was on ABC,
Yeah.
they went all over the place. So get yourself some good press, media. Those things will help you to grow and share what the good message you're doing. If you're not doing good things, it isn't going to work anyway. So you got to do what's right to help people, and so that's what we get to do here. How is the technology? I mean, you've been doing this since, well, I'm thinking 40 years ago. That's a long time. They didn't have websites back then, right?
No.
Things have changed a little bit. What have you seen some of the impacts?
The biggest thing is like 40 years ago, they gave you a list. You go to the office, you get your van, they gave you a list of places you're going. No phone numbers, because you had no phone.
All right.
And that's the list you went by.
Just the addresses.
Yes, exactly.
Stop one, stop
and
two.
then after I went to another company, and they had like radios, like CB radios we used.
Okay.
But yeah, the media is it's just remarkable. Just in the last 20 years, how it's changed.
Yeah, now you guys got websites, and we showed where you guys have reviews for. We showed the Florida location. You've got all the locations. They all have reviews.
Yep.
And you have websites for each too.
Correct.
And,
Facebook pages.
These guys, this is the way you get your word out, because if you don't
Absolutely.
have a website, how many businesses out there still don't have a website? That is crazy. But we've run into it periodically, and we're going to help
I
them.
think it's strange, but you do see it every now and then.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But how is it better now? Is it easier to communicate?
It is 1,000 times easier to communicate.
Yes.
And I mean, just, a lot of this stuff too, this day and age, and it's just, I think we're starting the beginnings of it, but AI has helped a lot of areas. It's hurt a lot of areas too, but it's helped a lot of areas. But yeah, the communication now is simple. And it's even easy for a customer too. You're at work, your air conditioner broke down, you can text us, you don't have to call us. I mean, you can email us. And we respond immediately. So now instead of years ago, we only had a phone. Now there's multiple avenues of communication.
Yeah, I'll never forget the days back when somebody was on the phone. If you were expecting a call,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
got call waiting.
Call
That
waiting.
was a big
Dang,
reason. My
dang.
mom still doesn't know how to answer
Yeah.
the call waiting. I know
Yeah.
she's home if I
Right.
call, and it doesn't go to the voicemail because she's
Right.
on the other line.
Oh,
and She
yeah.
won't click over. Okay, she's home, or else the phone she would have. But yeah, but technology, man, these days, texting, email, social media, you guys have got all of that stuff. Great following on your social media.
Absolutely.
But you get to share what your work is about, how you get to help people. And has that made it easier for you to help people to choose to use you?
Absolutely. I mean, we're just trying to get our message out. Trying to show people what we can do for them. We're just like them. We're trying to be fair, honest, just good people, just trying to do a job.
Makes it easier if you do it that way. You guys write it
Exactly.
down. And we're not the only ones saying that here. Here's an expert for 40 years been running businesses and very much success. Sometimes when you learn a lot, but other times when you,
Well, a couple times I fell flat on my face. Yeah.
if you haven't fallen on your face,
Yeah.
then you haven't been on this planet very long because there's always hurdles for us to overcome. With that, what are some of the biggest mistakes that the consumer makes when they're dealing with some of the other companies you've seen out there? You talked about these big corporate guys now.
Yeah, just because somebody comes in your door and they got a technician shirt on doesn't mean they're a technician. I mean, that's the bad thing about it. 20 years ago when somebody came in your door and they had a technician shirt on, they were a technician. Now, the people coming in your door now, they're not technicians, they're salespeople dressed as technicians. And that's what you have to be extremely, extremely cautious of.
Yeah, how would somebody know the difference? Because they're going to follow them around?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the
No, I
biggest
mean, they're going to come to you. As soon as they give them 15 minutes, they're going to be sitting right in front of you. Hey, you want to sit at the kitchen table? Don't sit at that table. Walk away.
Walk away
Yeah.
from they want to have that sit down. That's the sales process.
Yeah, that's when the process starts, right there.
Right. Let me show you what we got here.
Yeah, let me show you what I found.
Haven't really analyzed things, but I found one little problem that will justify me.
Exactly.
selling
Just use caution. I mean, you can see when somebody's trying to push something onto you. I mean, if they're using high pressure sales tactics and they want a decision right now, they're not the right people to go with.
There you have it. Yeah, none of these decisions need to be made right now.
No.
Everybody, you can get that taken care of with a couple phone calls. Get another opinion too.
Second
That's what
opinion
you
is
said is
vital.
Most important things. What's one of the biggest questions people have before they decide to do business very often? Is it always cost or how soon can you put it in?
You know, this time of year, it's how soon can you get here?
Right.
Every air conditioning company in this area is probably 2 or 3 days behind right now.
Right.
So everybody's asking, how soon can you get here? And then when we get there and we get to the repair, it's always about how much is this going to cost?
So those are the two big questions right there.
They don't ask you about the cost until they get you in the house, and then they bring
we
it
got to
up.
pay
Yeah.
for this too.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, but these days, I mean, money's tight. But how often is a financing option the best thing for somebody? If they're going to buy a new unit, I guess.
You know, they got a lot of good offers out there. I mean, there's some companies out there that have better offers than we do when it comes to financing. So, I mean, I think financing a new system is a very, very plausible thing to do because you can use a little bit of the savings from your energy to cover that cost monthly.
Right.
I don't think you'd ever be able to recover all of it monthly, but I mean, you can use a big chunk of it to cover your monthly cost because you're picking up efficiency off your power bill.
Right. And you offer financing though? For you?
Oh, tons of it.
Yeah, so
every level of
all the
financing you
options.
can think of.
I'd imagine that's
Doesn't
good.
matter what your credit is, we got something for you.
Really? Okay, that's
Yeah.
good to know because there's some people out there that they can't live in a house that's that hot or else
Oh,
they're gonna-
absolutely.
big problems there.
Exactly.
What ultimately, as we finish up here, gives you the most satisfaction for what you get to do here? Pretty exciting what you do to help somebody in a stressful
I'd like to
situation.
be able to go, you know, a customer calls us, we've never heard from that customer before, never seen them before, we go to their house, we do a dynamic job for them, and they're thankful. That's it for me.
Yeah, because there's a stressful situation there. when somebody's
Absolutely.
got-
I mean, you're dealing with people you don't know, and they're coming into your home, and they're doing thousands of dollars worth of work, and for you to trust them, that's a big thing, and I don't want to do anything to betray that trust.
expertise here, everybody. Share some knowledge here and doing a great job along the way. That has produced some of the best ratings you'll see out there, and just all around. Do things right, do things the right way, and your business will do well. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Thanks for having us.
Stay tuned, everybody. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We got many more episodes to come. They're all on our YouTube channel. Giddy up. YourLittleCastle.com. Giddy up.